So it was a very frustrating experience in Argentina. So when I flew down there, we went there multiple times and we engaged with a variety of different people and filed all the presidential protocols and these types of things. And we kept trying to get a one-on-one meeting with Milei because we had heard that the government was basically open for business, meaning that there was a great opportunity for getting basically blockchain infrastructure into Argentina. Now, Minguincier, the other guy in the picture, he's a very good businessman. He's very sharp. He's very smart. So he held a large Avalanche conference down there, and I went and visited him. We had all the pleasantries and everything, and he was thinking the same thing I'm thinking. He's like, "Oh, Argentina's open for business, you say? This is a growing place." So they filed all the paperwork as well. And the organizers of that tech forum, they said, "Look, the president's going to come and speak. You guys can sit down. We're going to have a great conversation with him." I said, "Oh, this is going to be exciting." And it went from, "Hey, we're going to have a conversation," to, "Well, it's going to be a round table of industry insiders like yourself with the president." And then when we showed up there, waited all day for it, it turned into, "Oh, well, actually, it's going to be a handshake and a photograph that people take." Okay, that's a little bit of a bait and switch. But we said, we're talking to all of his other people. We talked to various ministers and these other people. And really, Federico Schwarzenegger was the real big guy that we wanted to talk to because he was the Ministry of Deregulation. And we wanted to understand what, if any, opportunity there was for public-private partnerships, because I view Argentina as a labor market. We're building Lace Wallet down there. We're creating jobs. We signed an MOU with Globant. It's a 20,000 developer company. We don't actually need a single deal from the Argentine government. We were just curious what Milei wanted to do. So we had all these people that we'd encounter along the way, and they say, "Hey, you give us a little something, we can get you a meeting." And oh yeah, magical things can happen. I said, "Well, that would be a violation of the FCPA. We can't do that." And then suddenly they stopped talking to us. So we were always curious, what was going on there. And then lo and behold, this whole thing happens. So a lot of people come to me and say, "Well, what's your take on all of it?" And since you're in the pictures and these things, here's what I think happened. I think there's some people in that inner circle surrounding Milei himself who took advantage of his lack of knowledge of our industry and what happened was Trump coin and these other things to convince him that it would be a good idea to launch some crypto infrastructure and be basically endorsing it. And they used the president of Argentina basically to make a lot of money. And they left him basically to clean up the mess after they ran away. And it's hard to say if it's people in his inner circle per se, or people adjacent to the inner circle per se. But welcome to Latin American politics. They get pretty dirty. And you have to have ironclad principles when you walk in these things. Every single country I've tried to do business in Latin America and South America, I've had at least one person in the private sector and the government say, to come here and do business, you have to bribe a person. And we immediately shut them down. We say, no way, no how, because that's just not who we are. And sometimes it costs political relationships and you don't get any penetration. But more often than not, it leads to more good than bad. Because usually what you're witnessing right now is the end result of what happens when people take the easy path instead of the hard path. The frustrating thing for me is that all Milei had to do is just let the blockchain industry come work with him, and the entire country could be revolutionized and transformed. Blockchain-based voting systems, blockchain-based budget system, blockchain-based supply chain, blockchain identity, all kinds of really cool, amazing things. And now the Peronistas are going to come in. They're going to take advantage of this entire situation, and they are going to basically undo any chance of the public sector meaningfully adopting cryptocurrencies, because everything will get associated with Libra in Argentina. We already presumed there was no path forward to work with the Milei government because of the deregulation nature. There was no stability there or certainty there. While I was there, the government got rid of the AFD, which is their tax service. It'd be like Trump getting rid of the IRS. So what good is a Argentine government contract or relationship when the very ministry that you're signing documents with could be out of business in 6 months' time. In fact, to give you guys an example, we were working very closely with their Minister of Foreign Affairs, or whatever the office is called, on getting visas for the African delegates for the Constitutional Convention. We were talking to the minister herself, and she took us very seriously. In fact, when they had the issue with the embassy in Venezuela, and there was an attack on the Argentine embassy there, she still took the meeting with us. This is how seriously they took us. And she was working very diligently to get visas for people. She got fired. So unfortunately, that meant that the African delegates couldn't get visas, and we had to do the split convention with Kenya. It gives you a sense of how shaky things were there. That said, overwhelming crypto adoption, $100 billion worth of cryptocurrencies and a $700 billion GDP. One out of every $7 of value is in crypto there, which is extraordinary when you really think about it, when you really see it. It's like really magical that they've been able to achieve that. So our view is Argentina is a great private sector for real fi. It's a great private sector for regional deals, as the foundation did in one of the regions. And we talked to the mayor of Buenos Aires as well about his identity pilot. And there's a lot of really cool things that are going on there. But the government's not really in a position to offer meaningful relationships or contracts because of the instability. We said, all right, well, we'll sit on it, wait on it. But it makes me a little bit sad to see this entire scandal come out, because at the end of the day, Milei is the first elected libertarian in the entire world. And I worked for Ron Paul back in 2007, 2008. And to see a libertarian become president of a country, it's something I never thought I'd see in my entire lifetime. And I repeatedly told the people around Milei's inner circle, from his sister, Karina, to others, tell the president that everybody wants something from him, and I'm the only person in the entire country right now who doesn't want anything at all. I don't want any money. I don't want any pictures, any prestige. I just want him to do well and succeed. And I really hope that his agenda of reducing the size of the government of Argentina works out the best for everybody. I did a lot of interviews while I was there. They were all in Spanish, and those interviews reflected that character as well. And I am pretty sad that this is the outcome. And just one event is going to create a lot of political damage for him, his brand, his reputation, and for the libertarian brand in Argentina, and may even undo his presidency, depending upon how far the scandal goes and how much he actually knew. From what I know of the man and from what I know of how he does business, I think he's an academic at heart. And I think that he has the best intentions and truly does believe the things that he says. I also believe that he is surrounded by Latin American politics, which are often serpentine, Byzantine, and extraordinarily treacherous. Everybody pretends to be your friend, and they have a dagger in their hand ready for your back. And every single person is trying to use what you are and what you have to their advantage to enhance their state in life. And you seldom get a true friendship. People only support you when you have power, and when you start faltering, they find a way to dogpile. So I guess this video is one of the few that'll be made in his defense. I think Milei is a good person, and I think that he surrounded himself with some bad people because he didn't have the proper political infrastructure to actually be the president, and he stumbled into the job. And he's learning how to do it. And unfortunately, when you don't have all the best people, they don't have your best interest at heart, and you end up getting wrapped up in things that you can't control or fully understand. And by the time you realize what's happened, the damage is already done. That's the consequence of being a head of state. And that's the consequence of basically doing things at this scale on the national stage. So I hope it all works out. I really do. And I'm sad that at the time we couldn't do more for him. I wouldn't have launched a meme coin. We would have focused on something else, probably government spending, for God's sakes. Maybe it's all for the best. And we'll continue investing in Argentina and continue building. We're hiring 7 people specifically for the Lace wallet for the mobile client. and they're doing a great job down there. And we got a nice office we're renting right next to Globant's tower. We're working closely with Globant on Midnight, and they're doing some great work there. And they're real excited about Cardano, and it'd be fun to work with Mercado Libre and other brands down there. And a lot of my good friends are down there in Argentina. The whole Bitcoin DeFi play is actually being done there with BitVMX, and they've been working on Bitcoin for over 12 years. So the dog barks, but the caravan moves on. Sad day for Argentinian crypto, but at the end of the day, we'll survive and keep moving forward. And I hope this gives you a window into how we do politics. Slow and steady, and we stick with the principles and the morals, and sometimes it works out for us. Some days it's frustrating. Believe me, it's really frustrating to show up at a conference and think you're going to have a one-on-one with the president, and then it turns from a round table to a handshake and a photo. But you make the best out of it. And, we always figured we'd run into him at CPAC or somewhere else. And as I said, plenty of people in his government we talked to and continue to engage with. So we didn't really think of it as a bad thing, just a surprising one. This one was a bit surprising, though. I would have figured they would have had better judgment about who they chose to actually give that meeting to and talk to, associate with. And when you have poor judgment, these are the types of things that happen. And you have to just deal with them and move on. So if we can be of any use to any person there, we have a presence there, more than happy to help clean up the mess. In any event, we do hope that libertarianism continues to grow and thrive. We do believe in the philosophy of deregulation, and we do think that one can continue the march, even if one stumbles from time to time. And I wish Milei well, and I hope for the best, and I hope that he continues being the leader of Argentina, because he has a lot of very important work to do. And all leaders grow when they run into these problems, and I hope he survives them. Good night, everyone.